This is late-round quarterback gem the Pittsburgh Steelers could be eyeing. The Pittsburgh Steelers will draft a quarterback at some point in the 2025 NFL Draft. In all likelihood, that will come during the third or fourth rounds. However, Pittsburgh. Post-Gazette Steelers insider Jerry Dulac raised another player as a possibility in the later rounds. That would be North Dakota State's Cam Miller. Miller was the Shrine Bowl and showed he could hang with the rest of the quarterbacks there. That is someone that Dulac could see the Steelers liking. I don't think there will be a later-round QB taken, and if there is, maybe this kid from North Dakota State, Cam Miller. Otherwise, the possibilities could be in the third or fourth round, but maybe only if one of the guys they like drops that far, Dulac said. Miller played in 67 games in Fargo over his career, racking up 921 passing yards and over 2,000 rushing yards. That mobility will serve him well at the NFL level and is one of those traits that will intrigue the Steelers right out of the gate. Pittsburgh has looked at a lot of the quarterbacks in the 2025 NFL Draft, but they seem to be leveling around that middle round area or finding a later round player like Miller they like. Pittsburgh Steelers could make blockbuster trade for superstar WR with Russell Wilson ties. Seattle Seahawks superstar wide receiver DK Metcalf has requested a trade out of Seattle, according to multiple reports. Metcalf has voiced his displeasure with the organization multiple times over the last season, and now he will get to find a new home. Metcalf, 27, immediately becomes the top name on the market. A two-time Pro Bowler, Metcalf has shined with the Seahawks and has connections to the Steelers. He played with Russell Wilson, whose moonball helped unlock Metcalf as a deep threat throughout his early years with the Seahawks. Metcalf has over 6,000 career receiving yards, and his unique size and speed combination will make him perfect for the Steelers' vertically focused offense. He will want a new contract on top of this, but the Steelers would likely have to trade their first-round pick for Metcalf. If the Steelers want to make a premium move, however, Metcalf would be that difference maker, and without a huge contract on the offensive side of the football, they have the flexibility to make it happen. Still, Metcalf will garner a lot of attention and have a robust market from other teams. If the Steelers are willing to offer up their first-round pick, though, they might just be able to make this happen. Max Crosby's contract signals huge payday. Coming for Steelers star T.J. Watt. Las Vegas Raiders star edge rusher Max Crosby has set the market with a huge extension. His 3-year, $106 million deal set the market a $5 million per year on the edge rusher market, and with others such as Myles Garrett, Aiden Hutchinson, and Micah Parsons expecting new deals, that figure will only climb. The Pittsburgh Steelers will be watching that market too. T.J. Watt is heading into the last year of his contract and will want a new deal. Pittsburgh plans to oblige that, and it is urgent for the Steelers to get ahead of those other contracts. Watt and Pittsburgh could iron out that deal sooner rather than later, and even though Watt is coming off a down season where he dealt with injuries and hit a cold stretch on the back half of the year, General Manager Omar Khan said at the NFL, "Combined, they view Watt as a one-helmet player. TJ is one of those legacy guys," Khan said. "I was around Hines Ward and Troy Polamalu, and those guys spent their entire careers with us, and that's a special thing. I'm hopeful and confident that TJ will be one of those guys. Watt's the all-time franchise leader in sacks and is a Steelers legend at this point. All signs point to the team signing him for another 2 to 3 years, even as he gets to the wrong side of 30 in his career." Pittsburgh Steelers post-NFL Combine 7-round mock draft Faribault. The Pittsburgh Steelers are back from Indianapolis. Planning for free agency, however, the NFL Draft came into focus during the NFL Combine too, and it left a lot more clarity for the Steelers' plans. So with that being said, here's my second Steelers mock draft of the cycle. Is it a flashy or bold pick? Far from it. Yet, Emeka Egbuka checks a lot of boxes for the Pittsburgh Steelers. For one, the interest is there. The Steelers are not fooling anyone. They like Egbuka and what he brings to the table, but I did hear at least some trepidation around the league about Egbuka's ability to play outside. Still, with how much Arthur Smith utilizes condensed formations, you can put Egbuka as a Z-slot in the scheme and work from there. He is a high-character player who blocks his behind off, and Egbuka is expected to test quite well in Columbus on March 26th. Last time, I went with Kenneth Grant, and I think the defensive line is still a huge play for the team, whether it be Grant or Derek Harmon. However, Egbuka checks so many boxes, and Harmon and Grant are steadily rising boards to the point they might not make it to 21, So I'll take Egbuka this time around. Round 2, pick 52 Caleb Johnson, RB. Iowa recently thought that the Steelers' running back interest is incredibly elastic. They could take one anywhere from the 2nd to the 5th rounds, but it is all about value and how free agency falls. If they can fill their needs, specifically at cornerback and one of wide receiver or defensive line, running back could be taken earlier, and let me be clear, the Steelers just need talent in their skill position groups. This goes into Omar Khan's statement about adding playmakers. Johnson is a really fun player. I know people will point to the 58 40-yard dash he had at the NFL Combine, but the game speed metrics are excellent, and there is not a more natural zone runner in this class. Johnson is a perfect scheme, fit for what Smith wants to do, and if he falls to 52, it is hard to see the Steelers passing him up. Round 3, pick 85 Shamar Turner, IDL, Texas A&M waiting on the defensive line until the 3rd round is a hard thing to do. It becomes much easier to land an impact player on the defensive line during the free agency period. In this scenario, that almost certainly has happened. Yet the Steelers will need a nose tackle and someone who profiles into that Cam Hayward role in the future. Shamar Turner is about as good as it gets here in the 3rd round. We are talking about a player who would generally go around earlier, but because of the sheer depth, falls to this point. Turner projects out to a 5 technique and has incredible aggressiveness and physicality. The pop in his hands is fantastic. Turner has so many natural tools to work with right away, and he is still trying to figure everything out, but the upside here is really intriguing. Round 4, pick 122, CJ West, IDL, Indiana. The Steelers still double dip on the defensive line in this mock draft, and listen, they need to get young. CJ West is different from Turner. He is a high-motor, strong-handed nose tackle who is way too underrated, even after testing quite well. The 4th round seems like his sweet spot, right? Now, and for all intents and purposes, West can be a gem here. I'm much higher on him than this draft slot. Indiana Pro Day already occurred yesterday, and Steelers scout Casey Weidel was in attendance. West did not need to do much after a strong NFL Combine. Keep an eye on this connection for Pittsburgh. Round 5, pick 163, Zaw Frazier, CB. I'd say the Steelers love themselves some toolsy big cornerbacks, and Zaw Frazier fits that mold about as well as anyone. Looking at the measurables, they are shockingly similar to Rick Woolen, but Frazier does not have as much buzz. A 6'2" cornerback with nearly 33-inch arms, Frazier ran a 37 40-yard dash to accompany the measurements. The tape is a bit of an up-and-down roller coaster, but Frazier slots in as a developmental outside cornerback with immediate special teams upside. Round 7, pick 225 Logan Brown, OT, Kansas. The offensive line picks for the Steelers could come at any point. There is no question the Steelers follow the Howie Roseman mantra of drafting guys even when you feel secure, but it is hard to slot just where it will be. Logan Brown is an athletic 6th-year tackle who has his best season with Kansas this season. You can throw on some Devin Neal tape and see Brown leading the way. The Steelers need a swing tackle, and Brown can kick inside as well as play at tackle. With his athleticism, this is a solid upside pick this late. Round 7, pick 249, Max Brosmer, QB, Minnesota. Just like the offensive line, expect the quarterback to come at some point in this class. It could certainly come earlier, but the Steelers wait in this scenario. They get Max Brosmer, who has some intriguing tools, including arm talent, that flash. He is raw around the edges, but there is something to be developed here with Brosmer.